1996 European Community Championship, coming to you live on Eurosport from Antwerp. Stich to serve.
Play. Love.
Well, interesting whether the approach, of course, is a little different given that it is best of 5 sets. Generally just a slightly slower start.
So 52nd ace of the week for Stich, who seems as if he's come out of his blocks fairly quickly. A nice comfortable opening service game then for Michael Stich as he held serve to 15. 1-0.
Between a relentless cop,
you are going down,
a ruthless thief,
I'm the worst trouble you ever had,
and his reckless partner,
The bank is worth the risk.
obsession knows no limits. Academy Award winner Al Pacino, Academy Award winner Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, Heat, a Michael Mann film.
Goran Ivanisevic about to start his first service game of this Antwerp final.
Yes, he didn't lose a serve against Becker. He was only the one break point down.
50 love.
Ace number 74.
Love.
And before he does it, let me tell you, he served 3 love games against Becker.
But he's not going to start with a love service game today.
30-15.
Stich has been telling us more about how he's trying to change his forehand. We'll tell you more of that as the match develops.
40-15. Game Ivanisevic.
3 aces in the opening game from Goran. The opening salvos.
1 game on.
Pretty good crowd inside the Sports Palace. It's a very old building, a massive one. The full seating capacity 17,000.
Lovely feet.
Yes, in the background every now and again you might be able to see the cycling track as it curves around behind the seats here.
Where they used to have the 6-day event.
Oh.
Played the rally so well, hadn't he? And make a note of that rally. It might be the longest of the match. Nifty footwork. Shame about the backhand volley.
15 off.
Well, he's added a lot to his game this year, Ivanisevic. And he's really been volleying a lot more venomously than he has in the past. Because even that, he punched it.
Oh! 40-15.
Well, I think they were both thought it might have been a let, but no call. 2-1.
Kavita Chowdhury, award-winning filmmaker.
I like a bit of dialogue at 35,000 feet.
On Emirates, the award-winning airline.
I'll tell you something. The way this point's going, get comfortable, because we could be here a while. 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 Great. More tennis. Super.
So the first three service games have all been held to 15. 1-2.
15 up.
Ivanisevic pulling ahead in the aces count. It's his fourth. It was a mishit, but it was effective. And so often are.
Yes, it, I think, bounced higher and came through just a little bit more quickly than Stich had expected. But still, he followed through nicely, which is what held the ball on the racket.
30-15.
Well, we've seen a couple of balls keep low earlier in the week, particularly at that far end, but that one really seemed to get up. Well, a worm's eye view with that camera.
Trying to see whether there are any bumps in the court. See, the most aces this year that Ivanisevic has served in a three-set match was 25 against Forget in Zagreb.
15 up.
Some way short of the record, wasn't it, last year? Mark Philippoussis, so something like 42 in a three-set match against Byron Black.
Yes, I think he heads it this year too with his in his match against Sampras at the Australian Open.
30 up.
Something like 28.
3 now for Stich.
Stich was saying, he's really not too threatened playing Ivanisevic because he's got a good record against him. On balance, he's ahead.
And he's ahead now, by virtue of having served first. And it is 3-2 in the first set. We were talking through about the changes that Michael Stich and his new coach Sven Grunewald, the former coach of Mary Pierce, is trying to make to his forehand. And he was saying after he'd won his semi-final that he's trying to keep his right elbow lower, particularly in the backswing.
Yes, well, in the past, really, Stich's forehand, like many players, because they use a lot of power in it, they can hit a lot of winners, but he's also been pretty erratic on it. And I think what he's trying to do, instead of taking this circle back as high as he used to do it, he's trying to make that same circle, but a lot lower. And I suppose, therefore, he won't be hitting across the ball quite as much. If you think about it, if you take it up high, you tend to come across the ball perhaps at more angles. So he's looking for more consistency, and certainly on evidence so far, it's there. What often happens, though, you tinker with the forehand and the backhand suffers a bit, but that hasn't been the case. I think the worst thing for Vedran Martic here to do to his player would get him to change grips. And just as it would be for Grunewald, changing grips is a lot more severe and much more of a handicap.
Yes, you saw clear evidence there that the Stich backhand has not lost any of its sting. Ivanisevic here just forced to play the reaction volley. And the first hint at the break at love 30.
Well, that one was a bit mule-like. It kicked, and kicked rather nicely into the body.
Touch on.
And there's that new forehand, and it brings Michael Stich the first break point of the match.
Well, I must confess, if I had to play Ivanisevic, that's where I would expect most of the big serves on important points to come on that left court, but he's proved me wrong a few times this week already.
Yes, the one break point he faced yesterday, he went for the swinger out wide of the backhand as Becker went down the centre to cover that one. Yep, glided it down. He's using the shot directly at the body now a couple of times, and it's been effective. That time forcing a very defensive volley, a very short one, and the pass was then comparatively easy. Second break point. And there's the break. Terrific returning.
Well, I think that's much more a test of the volleyer, the new volleyer, Ivanisevic, hitting the ball straight at him, because that's where real dexterity and that's where the real test of volleying come. I wonder if Sven Grunewald, the Hollander on the left of on the right of your picture there, I wonder whether he suggested that to Stich. Because if you think about it, long arms as these men have got, if they have to play a ball close in at their body, the long arm can actually be a disadvantage. And that's where you need hands, not arms.
Ivanisevic responds.
Well, this is where he is so much better. Twice in a row here using the double-barreled backhand, and his forehand is his better shot anyway. It's a real threat.
Fifth ace. Lovely flowing service action, but then when Stich's in form, everything seems to flow about his game. That could be very expensive.
Yes, that was untypically stiff. Much more like Ivanisevic's volleying so far in this match.
Six all in aces now. Still break point. It's wide. Would you believe it? We've had two successive breaks of serve between two huge servers. 4-3.
Please lead for game to 3. Ball change.
Amica bringt Visionen nah, Madonna exklusiv, Antonio Banderas pur, Jill Sander weltweit, Mode auf über 60 Seiten, Amica, die neue Frauenzeitschrift, jetzt am Kiosk.
When I was 12 years old, I wanted to be a boxer. Theophil Stevenson was my hero. Now he's like a mirror for me. When I look in this mirror, I know what kind of shape I'm in. I remember when Theophilo was the best in the world and wouldn't take big money to become professional. With the spirit of Theophilo in me, I now carry the hopes of the Cuban people to Atlanta.
Amica bringt Visionen nah, Madonna exklusiv, Antonio Banderas pur, Jill Sander weltweit, Mode auf über 60 Seiten, Amica, die neue Frauenzeitschrift, jetzt am Kiosk.
3-4. Ivanisevic has broken back.
Love 15.
First double fault of the match. Now 3 breaks of serve. That's impossible, surely, between these two. Not if he serves like that.
Now there's a quick loud apology from Stich. But whilst apologising, he obviously expected Ivanisevic to move here. Whilst apologising, he must have been lauding the way he hit the forehand, finishing it off nicely.
Oh, terrific. There's nothing wrong with the approach.
Love 40.
Well, when he's at his best, Stich, he is so fluent, as you say, able to switch, although he's playing just backhands here, but able to switch so effectively.
15-40.
Ivanisevic has broken twice against Renzo Furlan, the Italian, but in one game he served 3 successive doubles, so that's perhaps understandable.
30-14.
So here's a very big point. 2 have slipped away so far as break points are concerned. Well. If you told me before this match started that at any stage we'd have 3 successive breaks of serve, in fact, if you said we'd have 3 breaks of serve, I'd have looked somewhat askance. But 3 in a row didn't cross my mind for 1 second.
Yes, pity the camera was on Stich, because Ivanisevic was none too pleased, one can understand. But he's been controlling himself so well. This is something we have to now watch for.
As he switched rackets and threw the old one away in some disgust.
30-love. Love.
3 set points for Stich.
Left versus.
Well, what a way to wrap it up. 6-3. Stich takes the set in 22 minutes.
I'll tell you something. The way this point's going, get comfortable, because we could be here a while. Be here a while. Be here a while. Be here a while. Great. More tennis. Super.
So some of the statistics of the first set, the 2 doubles, well, they were very costly, weren't they? 2 in that last service game of Ivanisevic costing him it, and Stich up at 66%. First serves, that's good going.
Yes, I think anything over 60% is very good going indeed. And you're hitting at this pace.
I can't imagine there's been another occasion this year when Ivanisevic has lost 2 service games in a row, so he'll want to hang on to this one.
Love 15.
I think the gods are against him at the moment. It was plumb on the line.
It's a tremendous test, really, of Ivanisevic's so-called new character here, the new skin that he's got.
Love 30.
Because if you think of it, this going for his 3rd title, 3rd successive title, I mean, that's almost undue pressure, and he's not normally the sort of man who can stick with pressure.
Particularly when Stich is sticking it to him, if I may abuse the pun.
Well, how about 3 successive breaks of the Ivanisevic serve in a row?
16-40.
Yes, you look down the road and you think you've got 3 break points, but you've got to remember that Ivanisevic can win 2 points so very, very quickly.
Game 6.
So Stich rampant. He breaks for the 3rd time and leads 1-love second set.
I'll tell you something. The way this point's going, get comfortable, because we could be here a while. 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 Great. More tennis. Super.
Welcome back. Oh, if you're just tuning in, you won't believe this, but Goran Ivanisevic has lost his last 3 service games. And Michael Stich leads 6-3, 1-love in this best-of-5 set final, so there's no doubt to which of the 2 coaches will be the more content. Grunewald on the right without the hat.
Yes, watching those coaches side by side, and of course I notice they've got their hands firmly tied, as it were, and no doubt might even be handcuffed to each other. No signs allowed, of course.
30 love.
As he's in some need of help.
Yes, he's won 14 matches, successive matches coming into this. But at the moment, he's a little boy lost out there, is Goran.
Game 6. Stich leads 2-love.
Well, he really is all over the place, Ivanisevic, but I think it's Stich really who's just maintaining this tremendous form. Ivanisevic is, I think it's something like 2 points in the last 18 that he's won only.
He's missed one. Not by much.
Love. Love.
Ace number 7. So relief for Ivanisevic as he actually manages to hold the service game. The Stich's ahead, 2-1.
He was an athlete, and he was a shoemaker. And by 1928, other athletes were wearing his shoes at the Olympic Games. In Berlin in 1936, Jesse Owens won 4 Olympic gold medals. In 1952 in Helsinki, Emil Zatopek took 3 golds. In Rome in 1960, Wilma Rudolph won 3 gold medals. And after Mexico City in 1968, Bob Beeman's legendary jump remained unbeaten for 22 years. Over the decades, athletes wearing this man's shoes have won hundreds of Olympic medals. His name was Adi Dassler.
Michael Stich, a set to the good and 2-1 up, best of 5 sets. That's probably any good news for Ivanisevic around at the moment. But this is immaculate from Stich.
Yes, he's really playing quite brilliantly. And of course Ivanisevic is not serving quite as effectively, so the rest of his game not quite as solid and as brilliant as his has been. Here the new look Stich, smiling, smelling the roses.
He draws level at 7 aces apiece. Yes, there were times certainly over the last few years when Goran not entirely convinced, as you can gather, when Michael had become a bit of a moaner, hadn't he? On the court. Things would get to him. He'd niggle away rather than having a massive confrontation. Well, that's the quality of play it needs from Ivanisevic to get back into this match.
Yes, he raises his hand as if to say he's perhaps more on song now, but I think it's got to be allied to more massive serving. I think that's when he'll be really singing. Of course, we just had our 2 friends, the Love Games, side by side prior to this.
14-15.
And I think generally speaking, if Stich's finding his forehand ground stroke a bit more comfortable, it'll help in the cupping action of his volley.
Game 3. It leads 3 games to 1.
Stich's been pretty miserly with these double faults so far. Prior to this, he'd served only 11 in 45 service games. Now that's terrific. That's won just about 4 games.
50 love.
There's an 8th ace, although Stich wasn't entirely convinced.
Love.
Tried to be a little too clever there, Stich. Paid the price.
Yes, and I don't think he can afford to try and be clever. That point was one he should have won. He wants to try and keep Ivanisevic in a black mood if he can.
Two successive love service games for Goran, and maybe now his game is beginning to fire up. Stich, though, still has the break. 3-2 and a set to love.
acclaimed director Martin Scorsese comes an epic story of greed.
You made a deal. What kind of deal did you make?
Friendship.
I have to be able to trust you with my life. Can I trust you?
And betrayal.
I knew deep down inside you would bury me.
Robert De Niro.
You realize what you can do? You can get us all killed!
Sharon Stone.
I will go to the police. I am not protecting you anymore.
And Joe Pesci.
You only exist out here because of me.
He's a loose cannon.
No!
Casino.
Time.
Well, the Stich box, having their photographs taken. Funnily enough, we haven't seen either Jessica Stich or Daniela Mihalic, who is Goran's girlfriend. I don't think they're around today.
50 love.
And if they are, they're keeping themselves well hidden, which is unusual for both of them.
Well, I suppose with the jeweler as a sponsor, it's not a bad idea to keep the ladies away. On the other hand, these players get given so much that it's not a bad idea to bring them, because the chances are they might well be given a bracelet or a necklace or something sweet.
No. That's pretty sweet, isn't it? So nonchalant, so easy. And yet it wasn't.
Yes, he didn't seem to have to get down much, but the secret is to get the head of the racket under the ball.
Left. Second service.
There's his first double of the match. His 8th service game.
Game Stich. This leads 4 games to 2.
It's one of the areas where Stich has an edge. If he can get the serve out wide, Ivanisevic isn't as strong as Stich is on the backhand return, because of course he's got to stretch more to get the two-hander, and as he so often does, if he just uses the one-hander, he doesn't have much strength in that shot.
Love 15.
Which may seem ironic to suggest that he doesn't have strength in his left arm, but as you could see with that volley there, it's just a matter of technique and habit.
Left, second service. Left, second service.
Going for a barrel of beer, are we?
If it's the 3rd successive one.
Love 30. Love 14.
Oh dear. 3rd double fault. And the wheels are falling off the Ivanisevic wagon. There's a little jump forward from Grunewald saying, come on, double break. It's 2 sets to love. And it's a double break. 5-2, Stich leads in the second set.
Ball change, please.
Komm zu uns, komm raus aufs Land, hier wird Beeren sind gebrannt. Komm, wir feiern Korn und Ernte, komm, stoß mit Beeren aufs Leben an. Auf das Lachen und das Tanzen, knackiger Spaß im Glas, von Beeren, ja Beeren.
The Megatron effect. So sharp, so brilliant, so real. Grundig Megatron TVs with 100 Hz technology. Also in 16:9 widescreen format with Power Plus quality for an even more crocodile.
Well, there must be very, very different thoughts in the heads of these two men. Goran Ivanisevic has lost his serve 4 times, twice in each set. And here's Michael Stich, after just 41 minutes, new balls just to rub it in, coming out to serve for a 2-sets-to-love lead.
Yes, David, at the change you were saying that Stich was killing him. I think it's a bit of that, but I think it's more suicide, really. I think Ivanisevic is shooting himself in the foot. And what he's really not shooting with is his serve. That's where the wheels have come off. 5 service games, the last 5, he's only served 2 aces, double faults and a lot of missed first serves.
15 on.
Now, the one thing Stich doesn't want to do at this stage is to get just that little cocky and overconfident. It was almost a cheeky shot he attempted. So certainly a couple of loose points and threat under the serve under threat. Of course, he lost it once in the first set.
Left versus.
Yes, because what it does, of course, is it begins to bridge the gulf that had developed here between the two of them. His confidence will be a little improved and Stich's will be lessened.
Did so well on that first volley, didn't he? Because that time really Ivanisevic threw everything at him.
And this is where Stich's so good, using his hands here. Look how deep that was. Used the opposition's power a lot better than Ivanisevic can do, even though he has been volleying better.
Left versus.
Might have to have the net measured again.
An 8th ace for Stich. Funnily enough, both served 6 in the first set. Both have served 2 in the second, and it's set point.
Second set.
Wonderful way to finish it off. 6-3, 6-2, the first 2 sets in 45 minutes.
2 sets to none.
Stich not satisfied, decided it's time to change his racket.
Well, maybe he's going to have the other one framed. He's been playing so well. I was just thinking earlier on in the week his ground strokes were really rather sticky, sort of a bit like Tate and Lyle's syrup, whereas in this match he's more like that warm maple syrup. Everything's sort of flowing very nicely, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Forehand and all.
I'm not going to comment on that. You might get sued by Tate and Lyle.
Well, it tastes good. It's just stickier.
15 love.
We know what you mean, really. The 9th ace now. Can Goran refined his serving?
30 love.
Oh!
40 love. Game, Ivanisevic.
Well, Goran certainly needed a boost, and maybe holding serve to love at the start of the third set will be that.
Leads by 2 sets to love.
I'll tell you something. The way this point's going, get comfortable, because we could be here a while. Be here a while. Be here a while. Be here a while. Great. More tennis. Super.
Time.
There's the situation, a really surprising one when you think Ivanisevic has won his last 2 tournaments, but he's just been outplayed so far. But it's the best of 5, so there's still time to turn it around. Plenty of scope for Ivanisevic to improve. Plenty of scope on the negative side for Stich to just go off the boil a little bit.
50 love.
But no sign of that so far. Stich playing in his 2nd tournament of the year, and he really wasn't fit when he played his first in Doha.
No, he wasn't with it there.
Left, first set.
Lost in the 2nd round to Peter Korda, the eventual champion, and pulled out of the Australian Open saying he wasn't fit and went off to America, found some sunshine and some training.
30 love.
Sticks the first round to 10 aces.
So we're going to have our twin beds here side by side. And I think Ivanisevic saying that there's so much height here that he could have given this a lot more air. It's got to come down with snow in it, really. Tends to relax a bit at 40 love.
One game on.
We do indeed have our twin beds, and in case you're wondering what on earth are these two talking about, you haven't been with us over the last couple of weeks, we've just noticed how so often love service games follow love service games. We really must get some sponsors for this and see how many we get during the year. If anybody fancies sponsoring us for, let's say, £1 a pair, and we'll give it to charity, Michael Stich's charity, for HIV kids at the end of the year. Write to us at Eurosport in Drury Lane in London.
Love 15.
Yes, we had a couple of double-deckers when Stich and Krajcek met. There were 4 successive love games. Double-deckers or double bunks. Well, it was a very big point because at love 30, Ivanisevic might just have given up the ghost here. Fortunately, he didn't. Surprised, really, that Stich didn't do a bit more with that. Just a bit slow to come in forward.
Yes, because it would have made it love 40 if he'd come up with a winner. Plenty of pressure on Ivanisevic. Only 2 sets to love down. The last thing he can afford is to go break down. It was wide, Goran. Worth another look, I guess, but it was wide. Aye. 4 doubles now, and so many of them at crucial stages.
Well, Stich knew that he had to serve well to keep in this match, but he and none of us really could have expected Ivanisevic's serve to collapse like this. Trying to relax the shoulders there.
13-40.
Well, if ever a shot could turn a match, it could be that one.
Well, this is incredible, really. Little flick of the wrist. Tall man, I know, but he doesn't often come up with something quite as extremely dexterous as that.
Advantage.
Yes, because it must have been a mortal wound for Stich. He must have played that return and thought, I've got him. But he hadn't, and Ivanisevic comes through from 15-40 to move ahead 2-1, third set.
Over here! Over here! I want to watch my soap.
What about my match? I've got the solution. A double feed antenna is the answer to all your problems. Install these 2 feeds on your dish and you'll receive channels broadcast from satellites at 2 different orbital positions.
The break point statistics, and Stich's missed 6 chances to break, but of course he has broken 4 times, which is quite extraordinary. Last week, the whole week, Goran lost serve once. I'm trying to think, he lost serve twice to Furlan. He hasn't lost serve other than that.
That was the only time.
Yeah, so in 9 matches, he lost his serve 3 times, and in 2 sets, he's lost his serve 4 times. But that could just be a crucial game, that last one. 1-2 now.
15 up.
Yes, they've never gone to 5 sets, and Ivanisevic has never come from behind to beat Stich. Every time he's beaten him, only twice a set.
Up.
Of course, if the serve isn't working, so rare, it's very difficult for the rest of the game really to fall in place.
40 up.
The doubts are foremost in the mind if your real strength is letting you down.
And I suppose especially when that real strength is the serve, because it's the one shot that you are totally in control of.
Exactly.
I think he's just growing in confidence. I don't know why he's smiling. I mean, he came into this tournament with no expectations at all. He was, I mean, they all tend to a certain extent, play themselves down and say, well, I've got no chance. But he honestly believed he had no chance. He said, when I get to the quarters, given that it's really my first tournament since the injury in October, I'll be delighted. And here he is, 2 sets to none up in the final. 10th ace.
Touch it up.
Yes, I find it difficult to believe, mind you. I think he's actually kidding himself when he says that sort of thing.
40 love.
He's too good a player, Stich, to enter a tournament and really not think he's actually got a good chance of winning it. That was lovely.
Game Ivanisevic.
Well, we've had, again, our pair of love service games. 3-2.
Toyota! Hallihallo bei 25 Jahre Toyota in Deutschland. Das heißt 25 Jahre immer in Bewegung. Das muss gefeiert werden. Mit dem neuen Toyota Paseo, dem neuen Toyota Carina und dem neuen Corolla Sondermodell Hit Special. Aber das Tollste ist bei Ihrem Toyota.
Ja, lassen Sie sich überraschen ab dem 23. Februar bei Ihrem Toyota-Händler. Feiern Sie mit.
Welcome back. Michael Stich playing superbly. We've been wondering, and Goran, despite his problems, has kept his composure pretty well today. I suppose the real test now for Michael will be some way down the road as to whether this smelling the roses will continue, this relaxed atmosphere, the smiles, the compliments to his opponent, the apologies all round.
Yes.
Could come in the quarters next week because, of course, we're heading off to Milan and just seen the draw. And Michael Stich is seeded to meet Boris Becker in the quarters. And Michael's always felt that he hasn't been recognised in his own country, that he's been overshadowed, as he has been, by Becker.
Yes, well, his disadvantage is that he hasn't got, except for recently, Ivanisevic, the combined power from the back of the court that Stich's had.
40 love.
And Stich, of course, over the last couple of years, hasn't strung it together well at all.
First point against the Stich serve in this set. And he only lost 4 in the second.
Yes, 5 in 7 service games so far.
40-30.
We put the kiss of death on him.
Well, as I was saying earlier, when he gets to 40 love, he just relents a little bit.
It was just a second double. Oh, no!
Could be a bad wrist, if anything. Because one thinks of Benno immediately.
Yes, that's what I thought of. Of course, it was the left ankle, but it's not ankle, I don't think. Oh, gosh, anxious moments.
I think he would have put his right wrist down there to guard his fall. He would try and save his legs at all costs. It was against Todd Woodbridge in Vienna that he tore a ligament. Very nasty injury.
Relief. That would have been awful, wouldn't it? If he'd... Well, that was nice too.
Well, there must be some strength in the right wrist if he could allow Ivanisevic to pick him up by it.
Of course, that was the game-winning rally, the return into the net, so it's 3-all, and now 15-love.
Love. Love.
Fifth double from Ivanisevic. And the first point he's lost on his serve for some time. Yes, that of course is where Michael fell. Wonder, he looks all right, whether he might be tempted just to call on the trainer to have a look at it at the change of ends, just to make sure there's nothing broken. Play's going on, Mr. Director. Well, we got there in the end. With Goran putting away the overhead.
Ivanisevic leads.
Yes, nice touch there from Goran. Ivanisevic goes up 4-3.
Working at the shop? That's not my dream job.
Hey guys, you know, I'm a man of vision. To get everybody together again.
Seeing the old gang? Great. I cannot believe it. He asked me to do the costumes for his next quit. So I'll do the better.
Still too static to pain, not enough urgency.
First the old doubts came back. Well, what if nobody liked it? I saw I wasn't alone.
And that's where I could feel it.
He said he needed more urgency. Well, he got it. Unfortunately, it was also legal.
It was very tricky, man.
If you don't look down, the sky's the limit.
Stich did not require the trainer. Serving at 3-4.
Well, one has a feeling, and it may just be a feeling, that a subtle change has come about here. It may not mean a win necessarily for Ivanisevic, but it's going to mean more of a struggle, I think, for Stich.
Left, second service.
Yes, maybe subconsciously the wind was blown from his sails by that fall. I mean, he must have been thinking as he was going down, oh, please, not another injury. Just as I was.
Last 30.
Yes, and I think also it's helped to take Ivanisevic's mind off his woes. Bit of light relief as he helped Stich to his feet, and I think in helping Stich to his feet, he's helped him to get on his toes a bit more.
In fact, the only point that Michael's won since the fall. It's been a double fault by his opponent.
15-30.
Well, again, they seem to be half waiting for a call of let.
Yes, they've got the trembling device as ever in these ATP matches in the net.
What sometimes happens when you have a mass of cameramen obviously courtside is that all the shutters go off at the same time, and people half mistake that sound.
Yes, that's where Ivanisevic doesn't have time to get around and use the big double-hander.
Oh, lovely. Saw this in the archives, folks. What happened next?
Well, if you can't beat him, I suppose you may as well join him.
Now, I'd have to actually think of what would have happened if Stich had actually missed that. I think by treading on your opponent's court, you do actually forfeit the point. But was he? Yes, he was on his court before the ball was dead, so he would have lost the point. It's 4-all. And a 12th ace from Ivanisevic, who's back in front in that particular category.
Well, an exclamation from Stich, but it had naught to do with the wrist or the right hand. He's either sticking or he's slipping, I'm not sure which.
Left, second service. Ivanisevic.
So Ivanisevic
leads
is hanging on much better in this third set. No breaks in it. Remember, he lost his serve twice in each of the previous two, and now that little bit of extra pressure on Stich. And I too sort of half feel we might get a fourth set.
Yes, well, when you consider that in the last 3 games, Ivanisevic has really come through with only that one double fault against his serve, that's as much more like Ivanisevic. And if one takes that theme just a little bit further, then one assumes that Ivanisevic is going to play a little bit more as he played, well, as he sometimes played in Zagreb. It must be said that he didn't play outstandingly well there. He certainly played outstandingly well in Dubai, where he annihilated defending champion Wayne Ferreira in under 3/4 of an hour. And he certainly played extremely well here, apart from his match against Furlan. It's been Ivanisevic really, and the best I think that I've ever seen him play, because it's been a mixture really of tremendous serving backed up by outstanding use of the double-barreled backhand, and also we know he's got a wonderful whiplash forehand. But this was terrific.
Yes, one of the moments to savour, that one.
They'd make a good doubles team, wouldn't they?
Well, we thought we might not have any rallies. We've had some wonderful ones, yes. And that forehand looks as if the new one is well and truly grooved.
Super point. I think the shot of the rally for me was the lob that Stich played. and how quickly they think. He played it over the left-hander's backhand side because he knew he couldn't then just smash it away easily.
Stich staying back a bit more now. I'm not sure that's wise.
15 on.
Started the match coming in on virtually everything, including second serves, but now most of the times when he misses the first serve, he's tending to stay back.
30-15.
Which really emphasizes the importance of the first serve. He said so before the match, and it certainly applies right now.
Left first service. Thank you, gentlemen. Game, Stich. 5 games off.
So no problems, no real problems there for Stich, having to level at 5-all in this third set. Remember, the German leading by 2 sets to love.
Yes, if you're beginning to think about tiebreakers, unfortunately Stich has quite a good lead in tiebreakers against Ivanisevic. He leads 5-2.
But it's a long time since Goran's lost a tiebreaker from memory, isn't it? Mind you, it's a long time since he lost anything. 14 straight wins. Only 2 defeats this year.
30 love.
13 aces. Takes him up to 86 for the week.
Well, it may not have been cleanly struck by Ivanisevic, but he'll be quite proud, and so will Coach Martic, of that little volley there.
A little run now of love service games for Goran. And he's 6-5 in front
6 games to 5
in this third set. Reminder that tonight at 8 o'clock Central European time, 7 o'clock UK time, we'll bring you the final from Memphis. Pete Sampras against Todd Martin.
Yes, good dexterity here, and of course he's got into the habit now of serve volleying a lot more, Ivanisevic, and I think it really makes for a much more complete player. Because in the past there was always the thought and the knowledge amongst many of the players that, as difficult as it might be, but if you just get the Ivanisevic serve back, you're into a rally, because he doesn't come into the net behind it, unlike Stich, of course, who, even apart, as David has said, from second serves here, but first serve on a fast court, and Stich will time after time come in, so that if there is a loose return, he can really bury the volley. Ivanisevic has not had that in his game up until recently.
Now then, would it be a tiebreak or would it be a full set? Stich serving at 5-6.
15 love.
13 all. Stich's version of the slam dunk smash.
Nothing wrong with the ankle, just the ligament, and certainly nothing wrong with the wrist.
Nothing wrong with the forehand.
Everything right. He's pulling a lot more shots back into court where they used to stray, drift away down the line and certainly cross court. He could really miss hit. The whole action is a lot smoother.
Game Stich. 6 games all, third set.
14-13, Stich leads in terms of aces. Sounds like a badminton match, doesn't it? Right, 14-13 will be setting to 5. Instead, it's tie-break. Tennis is equivalent of badminton setting.
Yes, Ivanisevic hasn't lost a tiebreaker since he lost one to Dick Norman, a Belgian, in Sydney. He's won 8 successive tiebreakers.
Left, first service.
But as I say, he trails Stich 2-5.
Well,
yes, it's not so much the attempt at almost a croaky shot here. It's the fact that he's not serving. There he is. Can't get the rhythm. Not throwing the ball up right.
One all.
Well, I wonder if that really did put him off, because he stayed back. It was the first serve in, and yet he kept to the baseline. That's most unusual, so I have the feeling it really did put him off. Well, it could be the break that Ivanisevic somehow wants.
Yes, because it's an immediate cancelling out of the mini break. 1 all. The best way of taking your anger out, of course, on the tennis ball.
Sure.
Too good.
3-2, Stich.
He just doesn't seem to be tightening up at all, Stich, in terms of feeling the nerves. The fluency continues, and really one would expect him perhaps to be just a little bit more pressured here than Ivanisevic.
Yes, he only won one tournament last year, Stich. Goran's won 2 this year. Los Angeles was where Michael won his 17th career title. Well, again, serve is not dominating the tiebreak. 4 of the first 6 points go against it.
He's not able to swing him as wide on the left court, is he, as on the right. And once Ivanisevic can lay two hands on the racket, get behind the ball, he's a danger.
Oh, well covered. We know that Goran's so good on these running forehands. He can go down the line as he did here, or whip them cross court, and Stich read it superbly, and look at the depth of the volley. Ivanisevic serving at 3-4. That would have hurt.
Thank you.
Well, just signs of a little bit of frustration now in Stich.
Well, I'm not surprised, because 2 second serves, he got into the rally. He's been winning those rallies. And yet Ivanisevic came out on top on both of them.
Five all.
15th ace, and the first from either man in the breaker. Which is now at 5-all. So the next point is either going to be match point or set point.
Well, I'm surprised he went for that.
The ground shots of Stich today perfectly in the groove, and it's match point.
Yes, and I suppose I'm surprised because I keep expecting Stich to break down with these ground strokes. He's solid as a rock.
He's missed it.
Game, test match, Stich.
What a comeback for Michael Stich.
6-3, 6-2, 7-6.
In only his second tournament since that really tough and nasty injury. You know who he's going to, his new coach. What a new partnership. What an instant success. Stich wins 6-3, 6-2, 7-6 in just an hour and 24 minutes.
Well, it was actually, I think, a crushing performance by Stich. One wondered when the Ivanisevic bubble was going to burst, but I somehow expected it to drift away, not be crushed like this.
Yes, it was a magnificent performance from Michael Stich. Reminder that tonight we have the final of Memphis. Pete Sampras going for back-to-back titles because he won in San Jose last week against Todd Martin, who's looking for a third successive title in Memphis and is in the final there for the fourth successive time. So
thank you very much.
One of those streaks
and Goran, great match,
has
great show, beautiful
got to be ended.
Come again. So,
now, with this final being fairly short, what we're going to go straight away to Essen for the WTA final between Jana Novotná and Eva Maioli. So my thanks to Fru McMillan for being with me this week. We'll be in Milan on Wednesday. Hope you'll join us then. Hope you've enjoyed Antwerp. Bye-bye.
de cette semaine. Elle a...